I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 30th. And first item on the agenda is board minutes for April 23rd, 2024.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried and passed. Next agenda item is correspondence. This one is an email from Steve White, who is a commissioner with Gallatin County. He served as a commissioner with Gallatin County. And he has a suggestion about having a special district in the Georgetown Lake area for the people of that area. And it would be, they would have to petition for a special district for the road, which I think would be up to the people of that area to get the petition going, signing it before there'd be anything, whether or not we would approve. And I'm thinking we might have to go, we'd have to go to a vote or a petition. You already,
I signed it.
okay.
Yep.
Have any comment on that?
Still Forest Service road. Do we have a
I
special
don't think
district
he
for
understands that.
Forest Service road? I don't think so.
I mean, that's one thing that they might not be understanding is that it is a Forest Service road. That's the main point. Okay, and then the next email is from Lori Hart, and this too is concerning the Lakeshore Road. And suggestions on how Lakeshore Drive from maintenance agreement, requesting us to keep the maintenance agreement with the Forest Service.
I think on that stuff, it's just for next week or whatever, we can have that. Just tell them, just
Yeah.
spread it over.
Yeah.
I don't think, we already got the Forest Service coming in on the agenda, we don't need.
So you're saying we want to keep this and put it, attach it with our, when we work with the Forest Service on our,
Well, and then we have it on record, so paperwork, but I think maybe we should start a file with all these emails
Yep.
and stuff, just put it all together, and then we, if somebody asks and say, yes, we have it right here. That's what
I agree. Chuck, you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Our next correspondence is from Granite County Justice Court. And it's end of period disbursement detail. And the amount is $2,660. And the next correspondence is from the DEQ. It is notice of public hearing on proposed adoption for new Rule 1 and new Rule 2 to all concerned persons.
That DEQ stuff is usually not even, I mean, they just come out with it. We get the
New rules by DEQ. I don't think. Let's see, how many pages is this?
It's mainly again.
Okay, another letter from the DEQ, and it's public notice. And the purpose of public notice is that the department's intention to issue a wastewater discharge permit to the facility listed in this notice. And it's a general permit for portable suction dredging. And the geographic region is statewide. Not anything that particular Granite County has to. That's it on the correspondence for today. We'll go into public comment on matters within the commission's jurisdiction. Is there any public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction?
Yeah, this was just sitting in here, I didn't know.
Oh, Elena.
Go ahead, Elena.
Morning, thank you. All right, I'll make a comment or a question regarding the correspondence. The two letters that you got from Steve White and Lori Hart. I know it's going to be on the agenda for next week, I believe. Shouldn't you contact them and tell them that it's going to be on the agenda for next week? That's the question. How would they know? So it'd be nice just to respond to the letter that I would think you would want to do and thank them and tell them that it's going to be on the agenda for next week. Discussion about the road.
Elena, I couldn't really hear you. I don't know.
She was saying she just wants us to get a hold of them two people and let them know that it's gonna be on the agenda. Well, their thing's not gonna be, I just said we'll put it in a file. And then that way we have it with us, and then if somebody wants to look at it next week. But next week's just with the Forest Service.
Well, for one thing, on that email from the former commissioner, that's up to the people at the lake to form their own special district. And it's a Forest Service road, so that isn't even our responsibility for them to petition. They would have to visit with the Forest Service. That doesn't pertain to our road maintenance.
It's a common courtesy to address a reply to a letter. That's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. These people took the time to write a letter, and I would think the commissioners would want to say thank you for your correspondence. or yada yada, and just tell them that. They're not listening right now. They wrote a letter. They made a suggestion. I mean, like I
Yada,
said,
yada,
comment.
Yada,
like-
yada, Elena, we do respond to all emails that we've received them. Yada, yada.
Yada yada. I didn't say yada yada. Where did you
Yes,
get
you
yada?
did.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You better listen to it. Again, listen to the recording. I did not say yada yada. Why is that so funny, Blanche? You didn't even hear what I was talking about.
You don't.
Thank
Well,
you.
Turned up your volume, I did. I'm not gonna argue with you.
I'm not, you're the one that's arguing. You're
Of course I am.
criticizing me.
Okay,
I'm sorry, you know, I made a suggestion. It's only just a common courtesy that you would reply to them.
You're saying we don't courtesy.
exactly, you're insinuating that we don't respond to our email. They are responded. We respond to
How?
them.
The letter was to you, commissioners. I mean, was it to somebody else that somebody else responded? I didn't understand that. Oh, I'm
Elena,
sorry.
as our
We have
assistant-
4 commissioners. Thank you.
Elena, as our assistant, she responds in our name. So, and that's perfectly good in good business. When you have someone that's receiving the emails and sending them to us and then respond for us. So we don't have to dictate that to her, it's done automatically. And I will be listening to the recording to see if you said yada yada or not.
Thank you. And one other thing for the record, again, this is not a business. You work for us. We don't work for you. And I want that in the record because apparently the treatment that you give the public leaves a lot to be desired. Thank you.
And we are a county entity, which is a county business. So yes, we do deal in business with the county.
Thanks for that reply.
I stole your pen. I stole your pen. I hate that.
Is there any other public comment? For the record?
Back in there.
We have 5 more minutes. Any public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction?
David Edgy.
It looks like he's a representative with Coast to Coast.
Oh.
How's it going? Good, how are you? Yeah.
Morning, Blaine.
Morning.
Good morning.
Where are you sitting over there? Really, no matter.
Musical chairs. I'll start a song when it stops.
I just wanted you to see it before.
Oh, yeah, I'm racing.
So we are initializing time cards being signed by. That was George.
Just wanted you to see it.
40-hour week.
Do you want to turn that in or do you want me to?
I got no problem with that
Okay.
at all.
Did I miss the meeting or just reason?
Nope, you're good.
That way they know.
That's cool. Good. I mean,
Okay, we've got a minute before our next agenda item, which is the weekly report with Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul R. So, it's the clerk. Stop. Ready?
But Tig.
Red
got his
tig.
umpire hat on today. He's ready to go.
RETT.
RETT?
IG. TIG.
Tig. Now it's my name now. It's not McClure. Everybody puts an extra C
Oh,
in
did
it.
it? Oh, yeah,
Really.
yeah.
Lure. Mick Lure. Is that how it's said?
It don't really focus on the L though, just McClure, right?
McClure.
Yeah. Oh, you like the lure part.
Is your official?
What? McClure, yes. Okay, our next agenda item is the weekly report with Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
We're pretty much just in the shops right now, 'cause everything's so wet. But we are, rock creek should be done today, cold patch, and I think that's back at, started at the county line and then just don't just go about a mile an hour and because you always miss holes, you know. So that's what's going on with that. Got dirt patch oil I'm gonna go get next week. Then we'll start on that. And the other pickup got done. So we're gonna go pick it up. It wound up being right at 5,100. So then the pickup that they're driving now, I think I'm gonna find somebody in Missoula and take it down and get the CP done. See.
There's a, Spalding has a pickup, has brand new seats.
Balding,
They're just out there by wide,
yeah.
you know, where they're at, and I have to, but you might ask them.
Well,
You see? You see?
Yeah, so it's it on them
I know.
sandbags.
it's fine. They've got it packed with burlap sacks. It's not the end of the world. Haven't they ever logged, for Christ's sake?
They're on the bucket.
Yeah, Spalding has some in there.
I'll check that. Otherwise, we'll do something with it because we do need to do something with the damn thing. It's only missing 25% of that slope.
Easy to get in and out.
Yeah.
They can open the door, you fall out. But.
This is with your sciatic nerve.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are stressing safety, I get that one
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our plan for our electronic signs, we'll get them up by holiday weekend. Or just, it's still winter up there and then it's not, it is.
Yeah.
So, figure we get them up by then, at least if they're there before the traffic. You're gonna put the first one up right when you hit the Granite County line. You know, on this side, and then the other one, not positive yet, kind of. As soon as you're away from the houses, I think that's where it would, that would cover up the houses on both ends. Guess you know how our line goes way back, and there isn't any houses, so we could just put some right in there, sort of what I'm thinking. Put them up, and there you go.
You see Pat working on the radio. What was wrong with it?
Computer issues with it,
Just that one.
and yeah. Had computer issues, and both of them did actually, and so they were down there and they got it going.
Not much to do right now, it's pretty muddy.
Right. But not, that's. So we're, gonna pick up a couple 16-foot cattle guards and shit, some timbers to put them on. Gotta put a new one in a couple spots.
Get that post put in up there.
Yeah.
They're gonna move cows up there this week, so.
Getting them located, afraid of all that fiber optic.
Yeah, no, I said, told them that. Said, get as soon as we can.
There's one little hole in that beautiful asphalt on the east fork. About that big.
Why didn't you fill it?
Asphalt.
Would you take Chuck a little?
Just leave a
I thought
bucket.
I'd get a rise out of it.
Still waiting on Tommy to get the gravel done. He's game. He said we could start hauling some out of a different pile. I don't wanna do that because I just wanna have a survey 5,000. Because he won't bucket load. That was our agreement, so that's where I'm gonna.
How many cattle guards you got in places here?
Well, we gotta put a new one in at the airport road, and we need to put one up Travelers Lane.
Airport, they will come out of there. They said they would ask.
I'm gonna pick that up though, because if you,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
And they're gonna you said they're gonna move it a little bit.
gonna pivot it over and then they can fix the fence. Figure out what the cattle guard in, but we're not fence builders. They want ranges, so whatever, but one up Travelers and then one up, come, going by the boundary kind of up on, by Batters.
Oh,
Okay, Scott?
Speaking of travelers. Road.
No, you're not on the road.
And I just want to say thanks to Johnny. He did a great job on that grading that thing. He's a master. He could ice a cake with that grading.
No, no.
He could ice a cake with that grading. He's good.
Yeah, he's pretty damn
It's just gonna throw some. That's that.
good. I will
So
pass it.
with solid waste, I finished billing the missing property tax people that are kind of riding for free. That came out about $3,200 worth of dump fees. They have an option to buy a unit, which will clear it, so that's a little bit less, of course. So, and right now I'm finalizing all the rest. Everyone gets a notice that it doesn't have anything on the property taxes. So half of them have bought units, because I've notified them you can't dump unless you buy a unit, so they purchase units. And so the notice will say, starting July 1st, your card will be deactivated unless you buy a unit, or you can pay as you go, it's your choice. So send those out so they have plenty of time to buy units prior to turning them off. And I'm working with Ashley, because I'm not there all the time. If somebody comes in on a Thursday and say, hey, my card doesn't work, I'm willing to pay. How can the other people activate that card so they can use it? So that's basically it.
sounds good. Have you heard anyone on the, start on the building? Or the-
Supposed to be anytime.
What's that?
The bathroom? I remember we drilled the well, and I was just curious.
And
I know
since,
it's crappy weather, but
you know, we're talking about redoing that end of that scale, you know. But since they put that fix on, it's just right as rain. I think if I just leave it alone,
But Drummond,
yeah, rather spend all that money on it, if it's, everything's just working great. That's my thought on it. If we got another year, I'd go, what the hell, you know?
I think that's the best way to go.
Other than that, that's about all I got.
so you're saying that the bathroom is gonna go out to the Hebert side or both sides?
Both sides.
Both sides.
It's already approved and now we drilled the well and stuff up there.
The well's there, yeah, but is it gonna just extend the shack that, where the operator's at?
Yeah.
So they don't have to go outside? Yeah, that's good.
Well, at least they'll have a bathroom with water.
The lease with the town of Phillipsburg for the Phillipsburg site already has it approved in there. And we own the county, not we, the county owns,
Yeah,
site
we've
around
all
it.
approved it.
Yeah.
Now it's all good to go. I just seen it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be going pretty quick. Benson. He's doing the digging and Nick Walton built the building.
Stick around for the merely discuss the bridge project. Okay, so it's 9:30 and our next agenda item is with Mayor Leeper from the town of Drummond to discuss the bridge project on South Main.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
Gail,
Good morning, commissioners.
morning.
You want me to introduce this one?
Um,
Well, the main thing is.
Oh,
No.
I was thinking you're on the law enforcement agreement, sorry.
The main thing is that we fixed it for now, you know, and then the guy looked at it, the grade is good, so we don't need no grant. No, I guess this is that. We just gotta get a hold of somebody and tell them we don't want it. But wasn't that Gail and them, they were the ones that applied for it, or I
Well,
don't understand what.
The state of Montana keeps asking, sending emails to Billy, asking if you're gonna do it. Are you wanting any reimbursement on any portion of the work that you did?
No. No, it's done and.
I mean, yeah, but it's just something free, you're not gonna do anything.
Oh, there was-
Well, we'd have to enter into a contract with the town of Drummond, and then, it has to be done that way, is my understanding of talking to
So how
John
much,
Fitzpatrick.
how much product would you say you used to fix that bridge? Was it more than usual, or is it something that,
We put quite a bit on there, we put a couple $1,000 on it probably.
so would you feel, Mayor, would you feel that maybe we should try to get reimbursed on some of that we did? Or
That-
should we go ahead?
That money doesn't work that way. It's a 1-to-1 match. You have to have a engineer and all it. I think it's just not, I mean, you know, and I had the clerk send up our minutes, you know, stating that the town isn't, we don't want to do anything with it. We can't just run it through, is what the Department of Commerce said. But it is a 1-to-1 match. So if you even, I mean, you're gonna spend more than $2,000 getting an engineer to do whatever.
And they show
So-
up and it's not what they want, yeah, no.
Yeah, it in our mind, it's done. With it, I think the Department of Commerce just wanted a confirmation about that.
Do we have to tell that Fitzpatrick then that back off of that?
He asked me about it at the meet and greet down here, and I said, I don't believe it's going for any further. I mean, that money is available every year to apply for. for the county for bridges and stuff. So yeah, I don't think, I mean, I think it's just a moot point, commissioners.
So what do we need to do then? Just write a letter to the commerce and say that we don't want that. blah, blah.
Yeah, maybe if Billy just responds, because when we sent that information, I believe Billy was on that, and then I think it's Lindsay that we sent it to with the Department of Commerce, and so yeah, I think that's all that has to be done.
Sounds good.
Okay,
I heard you do a motion then to send the letter to the Department of Commerce.
I'll make a motion that we send a letter to the Department of Commerce.
Is there any
And-
public comment?
and Blaine, would you maybe, do you think that Drummond?
We lost you.
We
Do you-
lost Gail.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now start over,
Oh.
please.
I just said, I just wondered if Blaine thinks if the town of Drummond should also do it by a motion at our next meeting.
Yeah, that'd be good. No, yeah, that'd be
Okay,
good. Yeah, I think that cleans it up.
yes, I think that'll be just fine. Well, I'll put it on the agenda and we'll do that.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Thanks none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried and passed. Thank you.
Yep, see you later, thanks.
Have a good day.
Were we gonna do anything else on that bridge or?
Nope,
just-
it's done.
Okay.
They might paint it or something that. No, it's good.
Okay, Gail, as long as you're here, we have you up and running. The next agenda item is the law enforcement agreement with the town of Drummond, and we have Sheriff Dumpson here. And we have the agreement.
Is there any changes on this?
So it's the,
Sorry.
basically the same base agreement with the same percentage increases that the town of Phillipsburg has. So everything, equal the, yeah, Exhibit A, Sarah did that. So, it's already been approved by the town of Drummond and signed. And so, I mean, this is the first time the county commission's seeing it, but, I like it. And it's just, it's even across. the
I
board.
read it yesterday, Scott, and there's no
Yeah.
changes in the wording except for the increases.
Well, that's what I did, couldn't remember when we set this up, you know, was how it came every year, what the increase was. And
It's an exhibit A. Exhibit A is the only changes in that contract that I see.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, it seems to be working
Yeah.
well for everyone, so that's just my thought.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Something that's working.
Yeah.
Keep it going and.
Not broke.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion that we go ahead with their interlocal agreement for general law enforcement services.
Any public comment? Thanks none, all in favor? Motion carried and passed.
Thank you. Mind signing two originals?
Two,
Yeah, two originals.
is that an original?
Well, I mean, yours will be an original. As yours.
Here's the other one.
Thanks. Okay.
Drummond was happy with it, I guess now. So,
Yeah, they already voted to adopt it.
I see it signed. so.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to work pretty good. I've had other sheriffs in the state contact me about those, the wording in those agreements. I know like Carmen County, I think it is. The academy, the sheriff over there, he wanted an example of that. And I think he actually just changed the wording the name of the towns and stuff, and then they adopted it and used it. It's pretty good, so. I don't even know who originally wrote that. Could have been Blaine when he was the town attorney, I'm not sure. So,
Miller did some of it, and Blaine, he kind of picked up that in the wall, and, you know, we started redoing it.
Yeah.
Kind of,
that's a 3-year contract, I guess. So. Like to go to track meet in Anaconda here for too long.
it's,
Noon. It's the top 8 tournament or whatever.
what is it, Scott?
The top 8 tournament.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a pretty decent year in the shot, so
cool.
we'll watch him throw at least. So,
Ballard won't nice weather.
yeah, it's track season, I guess. So,
Is he going off to college next year?
he's gonna do for sure. Seems to bounce around that question quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Is he moving out and wanting a couch?
Well, they already have a couch at the shop at Logan, so.
I have a bribe going on where
You got it.
I have a leather couch with a recliner in it, and then a little leather recliner. I need some items moved at my house, and I would like to bribe someone to come move some items, and then they can have that couch and recliner.
I will let the boys know.
Okay,
They might just be into that,
okay.
yeah, but he's not, I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, it plugs in, it's got the console thing that plugs down, you put your phone into it.
I don't know if you mentioned the military around his mom, she don't want him to do that.
I think we can probably move on to the dam tenders report for the Georgetown Lake outflow. Water surface elevation 6429.02 feet at 6:15 this morning, which is 5.76 below full pool.
And it was 6.48 last week.
So getting fuller, right?
And what, the 15th, Chuck, is when we start dumping 30?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, again, stay the same or go down for a week to 20. Get it up around 4. It'll probably sell anyway.
I think,
We just ask.
Yeah, you're for too long.
I think I just stay the
I
same.
told your wife.
It's probably gonna sell.
We're sitting better than a lot of people. I keep saying that just by calling around and looking at some of these others that are 60% not, or, 80. I think I just would stay the same, keep it.
Well, looks like it'll be melted soon too, the south pretty far. Why do eagles sit on top of the ice?
They eat the birds that get stuck in the ice.
Who gets stuck?
Get some more.
Someone told me that, other birds, they'll land and get stuck and
Because
then
it's
eagles
going by, there's
peel them
a
off.
couple eagles and then the blackbird sitting right on the ice.
Hmm.
Just looking down like,
They're getting fed upon.
I think little things get
They're
stuck.
eating little blackbird.
Sarah has the original,
I didn't
I'll get
see
one of the
it
Secretary
yet.
of State.
That's because they need them. So I'd make the motion, or, I'll make the motion to stay at 25 for another week.
What's it at for level?
5.4.
It's 5.76 below full pool.
Alright,
It's at 6429.02.
yeah, it's
Almost
coming,
full.
yeah.
Depends on how much rain we get.
Yeah, you're right. It's
I mean,
a,
it's gonna be one of, from now on, it's gonna be every day looking on our stuff, seeing if emergency comes, it looks like all of a sudden. Couple inch, you know.
Is there any public comment? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried and passed. We have to get commission.
yeah,
And there's more, I think, well, obviously, there's more coming in with right now. so it
Yeah.
should be good.
May 15th, it's 30.
Yeah.
Or, and then, if you're full, then you can be going over that.
It's starting to soak up now, you can see the banks, I look there, Point Creek, where you can see it's actually starting, the banks turning darker, it's sucking the water up in there finally, getting warm days, you can see that one rock down there, but Johnson's, was looking at that fishing access, you can see it's starting. You look at the older creek, wow, it's down.
Is it?
There's not enough snow up
Yeah,
And that's why I'm just trying to keep as much as I can to help these
yeah.
people when they start, they're gonna need it. We'll have to put a little tank or help Bobby Lund put a tank in and his, 2 of the springs are dry. That piece of pipe.
Wow.
Got water coming in, that's
Where's that at?
it's right there in Drummond, right behind that weigh scales on the north side, up towards that. Yeah, 2 of the things are dry. Not really.
Well, you know, all depends on how much rain we got. It might not fill if it got dry for the rest.
Finally going in the ground a little bit, you dig in the ground, man, there's, you go down a little bit. You're
Yeah, I have groundwater coming in, but like I usually do. But it'll probably rain.
Well, all of Todd Bly's models show it, yeah, being high inflows, but it's based on, it's based on having some moisture.
So you carried the motion, didn't we? Carried the pass.
Yeah.
We have 15 minutes before our next agenda item. We are going to recess for 15 minutes.
These folks come back.
Up, open, yeah. Okay, next agenda item is Republic Services contact notification and contract option intent.
Brian.
That's me.
Okay, come on up, introduce yourself.
My name's Ryan Hoffman. I'm with Republic Services. I'm the municipal manager. Nice to meet you, Scott. Ryan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bradshaw.
Nice to meet you.
I'm going to introduce
Yes.
myself
Yep.
too. I'm Catherine Burkhardt. I'm the new general manager.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet
Clay
you.
Bradshaw.
Nice to
I
meet
brought the
you.
whole team.
Yeah.
Hi there, Greg Mutzenberger, I run the landfill in Missoula.
Oh, okay.
Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, thank you.
And you wanna reintroduce your name again?
Yeah, Ryan Kaufman, Republic Services Municipal
Okay.
Manager. So I wanted to start off by just, I guess, introducing myself, letting you guys know who I am, and then letting you know that I replaced Chad Bauer as the contract contact. I provided notification, I think, a couple of weeks ago that updated that. There was a transition between Chad and another person and now me. And I wanted to make sure that there was intent, priority, you guys knew how we felt. So we intend to work with you on to extend the contract and extension, if that's the direction you guys wish to go. And that I'll provide you guys a full list of contact information. So if you guys have questions, anything becomes an issue, that you'll have a full list of contact information moving forward. And that it will always be updated immediately moving forward. So I did stop by the transfer site here just to see what it looks like. I'm from Montana. I've lived in Montana my entire life. On the other side of the state that's flat. So that's it in a nutshell. So I didn't know if you guys had any questions for us or any questions for me. Go ahead.
I guess it's a the money deal. It's always about money.
Let me go grab the owner's list. Yep. Were you on the last page?
Yeah, I just.
Yep, okay.
I just, is it going up again or is that just hearsay or?
I'm not gonna say yes or no at this point. I've just started working with the finance manager on this side to assess the account and kind of assess where we're at. Because I'm sure that that's an issue. So that's something we need to dig into. I don't have an answer for you today, but I will have one for you soon.
I guess and then on the other.
Go ahead.
Some of this, I guess we've had problems trying to get, I know everybody's busy, but there's a lot of times we've had to dump stuff on the ground, we're so full.
Okay.
And trying to get another bin up in there's been a pain in the butt.
Do you know if that's been recent, past, like real
Yeah, I
recent?
drove up there and they've had to dump, cause I know they're busy, but sometimes it seems like, I don't know if they maybe need I don't know, look and see what the total is that we're dumping and then maybe get another unit up there or something, or what?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why, I mean.
Cause once we start dumping all that on the ground, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, nor should it ever happen at a transfer site. So if there's something like that, we need to look into getting you guys a overflow container when, if that happens. I'll find out what the response schedule is supposed to be. I'll stop up there, make sure contact information is all good to go. But if there's something, I don't want trash on the ground ever.
Cause I think it's mainly, it's only gonna be for a few months just to have next one. It's probably like right now to start.
Yeah, the busy season.
Stuff. It's
Okay.
not the winter time, it's mainly like now through the end of August, well, from now until the snow fly again.
Okay.
Cause it's just, I know that when you go up there and it's not a mess.
Yeah,
Cause it's full.
Yeah, and then I guess we told them you can't turn nobody away, because we don't want it out over the bank somewhere,
Yeah.
so they're just dumping. I mean, we got the garbage trucks are coming in, and they're just dumping load after load, and their routes have picked up more, and get more and
Right.
more, so I don't know if we have to sit down and figure out how to have another bin, or if we need it hauled out, or I don't know, I guess this is something I just wanted to bring to your attention, that's one of the biggest concerns, and then the money deal.
yeah. So Commissioner Adler, I'll look into the price and where we're at on that, and then I will look into the schedule, what the set is for that. And then I will also look into getting an overflow container or something in the event that with everyone's busy schedule, we can't get out here immediately because maybe a couple of contractors or someone, I don't know who can or can't come in. But if someone comes in with a lot of loads and fills you up, well, that's something you can't know that's gonna happen ahead of
Well,
time.
that's the thing, and
Exactly.
the guy that runs the site's gonna have to be a little more trying to get a hold of Paul or whatever to get another one there. I'm not blaming at all on you.
No.
You know, cause you can see them bins filling up and whether they're, maybe there should be more calling sooner.
No, my intent is to, if we need to develop a schedule, we can do that. If we need to create a, and I've done this with all the rest of my transfer stations on the eastern side of the state, is created a very specific call line or very specific call list of who, I don't know if they provide an email. If they provide an email, then I would ask them to send it to a certain amount of people on the subject line or on the CC line to include them. And if they make a phone call, then I would ask them to say, hey, by 2 o'clock or by 3 PM every day, I just need to know if you need to be hauled or not hauled. And-
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I do that.
Question, Scott, is this something that John Kendall needs to be more aware of,
Well, yeah, I didn't want, yeah.
where he can call?
That's what I'm thinking, that maybe that he sees it starting to fill up, that he needs to call.
Is
And
that
it would
the
be the
site
same
attendant?
Saying it's not, you know, that we're not getting pins out there, but they
At this
have
one?
access.
Drum.
What's that?
He asked if he was drumming.
Yeah, but they have access to get in there, cause I know they go in sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning, I see,
Yeah.
you know, they can actually get in and get them out. And this is why I'm saying it's not all on them, it's on us too, that when we see them half full, that you maybe better take a, and knowing this time is a busy time of year, that you better pay a little more attention and call and say, hey, we better get one, whether, and then the next week, maybe that one won't be as full, but we still have, you know, it's just gonna have to be on us too. It's not
Yeah.
on you.
No, who runs the site here? Or is there someone that runs the site here?
Jackie
Yeah, Jody.
or Jody.
Yeah,
Jody,
Butler.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jody
it's
Butler.
And
Jody
John.
Butler runs it here and John Kendall down there, and then Paul oversees them, Paul.
So, I mean, this would be something where I think the attendants could make the call, they wouldn't have to go through
No, if I can,
call to call.
if I can make the
Saying,
process
What's that?
simpler, if I can make the process simpler for you guys, that's all I aim to do is just make
It's
it
not like
quick,
it don't
easy.
come in that, I mean, it's, you guys do
Yeah.
a good job. I'm not
Okay.
saying that, I just, this has been one of the.
Well, I
biggest-
appreciate hearing that as well, so that's good. Okay.
I'm saying that because I want to raise the floor.
Actually, it's been noted 3 times now. so
I
hear the
Are you saying
intent.
in your list?
You know, the fourth time?
Price, and price, and free stuff. I get it. I fully understand it. Yeah. I think that that's something we can work on, and I will aim to get something back to you by the end of this week.
So, and like I said, we got it up our side too.
I didn't see on the contract for notice for extension, when would you guys like the note, like the rates by? Everything.
I'm not gonna have it, just make it by the end of this week, give you a little time, because where you're just new and not look and see what the haul in and out, what we're paying and that's. Yeah, I don't know how you say it.
No, you're okay. Give me 1 second. Can you guys give me till the 10th?
Oh,
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah,
And then how often do you guys, you folks, the commissioners meet?
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Okay. So that would be 14.
Yeah, and if they don't have it, we, I know where you're starting at, they can't get to it then, it's just, whenever, just before this comes down to the contract.
Well, it's a priority. I want to make sure we get it done to you guys, so you guys can plan and prepare and budget and all of that stuff. It's very important to you guys as well, so.
The meetings are on Zoom if you want to.
Yeah.
Zoom or be
I appreciate they're on Zoom, but for stuff like this,
Yeah.
I would rather be in person so we can have conversations like this. I think it's very important. So I like in-person stuff, so if I can, I'd rather come out here and do that, so.
And then if there's something that you see that maybe it'll make it better for you guys too, just.
Yep.
Now that you've seen the sites and that, you guys are in the business, we're just.
Yep.
You might say, well, maybe you could do this, extend something, just just so I can make it work for both of us.
Yeah, I think that's all we have to do is make it work for you folks and for us. That will benefit everyone. So,
Pretty much all I had to say.
like it. And then you are
County attorney.
You are the county attorney. Okay, and I think I saw your name on the contract. That's correct.
Yeah.
The
Blanche, I might have been as like
Bill
approving the
Slaughter was
form.
on chair
Oh, was
then,
it Bill?
and your name.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just saw notice for I think contact.
Blanche.
Yeah, when this was signed, it was Bill Slaughter.
Okay. Okay.
And I took his place.
Great. Well, I don't know any different, so.
He's BS, I mean.
I like it. A step up in my book. All right, last words, anyone?
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
thanks for being here.
Thanks
great.
for allowing us to show up. So you guys are definitely a priority. Want to make sure we take care of you guys. So,
Thank you.
Thanks.
appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks
Good
for
job.
coming.
We'll
Good
talk
job.
soon.
Good.
Hey, Ron,
I'll find out, Billy.
Okay, yeah.
What's that?
Ron,
Hey, I didn't mean to take hold of
Huh?
that dump thing, but they're gonna call me. so. What did I just need to take hold
oh, that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, here, on behalf of the Ice Association, that's why I'm here. Thank you for letting us park our trailers out this time. And the way our rink is set up, is we're not able to use all the pieces. And up at the amount of loading pieces in the trailer, in the spring. My question is, can we possibly put them in that shed on that south side?
Blanche and I talked about it. I have no problem with it if you coordinate with Paul, make sure that it's not blocking something in. I don't even.
Well, the only thing that,
Shit.
there's only one thing that's in there is a snow blade for a pickup. That's been there for years. Yeah. The other thing is there's pallets of sandbags that we tried to use and they're all deteriorated.
Yeah, we put them in during our, we got such a abundance of them coming out of Kalispell. Some of the ones in the middle are still good and that's
Yeah.
why I told them put them in there, but
Well,
I know they're probably all shit now, but
we tried to pick them up here a couple, 3 years ago and it just picked them up, and it just come apart.
well, I don't have a problem.
No, I don't either.
Okay.
Would you coordinate with Paul?
Yeah.
And then you got his number and get it?
Yeah.
Just do that.
Sure.
I
Do you
don't have a
want to give,
problem.
Billy will give you Paul's number.
Appreciate it. I just asked and we'll get it on.
Yeah, I think that's the best route, and then you guys figure out which side and we'll tell Paul.
Well, it's just that one on the south side of the double doors.
I don't have a problem.
Initially, we're gonna put them on the ground, come with top, that must look very good. Nor is it good to do that way. This way, it's out of the sunlight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good job with that rink.
Well,
Yeah.
We're working on it. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.
And then, hey, Ron, just tell Paul that you talked with us.
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
that.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Good neighbor, good neighbor.
Yeah. On that dump stuff, yeah, and then, we have that other outfit wants to come in, sit down with us too. I figured these guys were in contact, they should come first to give their opinion.
Yeah.
Now, we'll wait until we get, from them, so we can let Grizzly know, maybe they can come in a couple of weeks, so then we know exactly what it costs. Not that we're trying to.
Would they work with them then, or would they do? No, we would just,
really take over.
when's our contract up?
August, I think,
Yeah, I guess that was.
August of this year.
August this year, I guess I was very good moving on this, because that's not that far away really, and we have to try to negotiate bigger prices and stuff, and I think the
Well-
biggest concern was just
I think you should let Republic know that you're looking at other people too. There's nothing
I
wrong with
didn't know
the,
we should bring it up in front of them right now.
I think you should let them know that we're getting other proposal.
Make it a
another
better rate.
proposal. Yeah.
Maybe we can let them know, I just didn't know how to price it, or like,
I just think they need to know that, yeah, that
They
there's
know.
something.
Okay, so let's move on to our next agenda item. That is the alcohol tax dollar service provider designation, and we have Youth Cares presenting a request for the alcohol tax dollars.
And Dawn Reese is on Zoom, and I
Okay,
gave
so
her.
that would be Dawn.
Hi,
Hi,
how are you guys?
good, how are you?
Good. So I work for Butte Care, Southwest Montana Prevention. Glenn actually had reached out to me, asking me if I could use the alcohol tax funds. I thought they were already allocated to a program, but I could definitely use them. I did share, it was pretty late. I shared an email with Billy, so you guys will have a copy of a thing I put together for you. So the funding that I'm asking for is gonna help me expand the prevention programs in Granite County. I've already done a few things. I have implemented a couple programs in the school. So if any of the youth are having problems with drinking, smoking, vaping, anything like that, that they have a resource to go to for education. This funding is going to help me continue that and maybe add more, as well as some activities for the youth that Granite County is kind of lacking. The state did cut my funding a little bit this year, so this funding will help the county, with the prevention efforts that I have over there.
Okay.
So I guess some of the things I'm planning on doing is I'm working with Gina at the library to get some more ideas to do some activities for the youth because there isn't a lot to do. So there's a lot of downtime for them, which in turn leads to substance use. Also, this will help me continue my responsible alcohol sales and service training for bartenders, and just help continue the school with their prevention education. So that's what I'm asking for.
so,
Questions? Scott?
just a sec, go ahead.
So, Don, this is Blaine. You had offered like to do like free MIP classes and so forth here. Have anyone reached out to you for those classes?
Not so far. So I do have an MOU with the high school and the junior high. So either I go in and I can teach a class in person. I also got them My Prime, which is online and self-paced. So they can give the kids the opportunity to be able to do it at home with their parents or anything, but I am able to provide that to anybody that needs it.
I think one thing the commission wants to know is what you've done in the community here. You're part of the DUI task force. Can you tell them what else you've been doing?
I've been trying to work with Healthy Granite County Network on some things. I've been working with the DUI task force. I work pretty closely with the high school. I've done a couple activities for the youth during the like Flint Creek Valley Days and Yule Nights. I've implemented the Crime for Life in the school. We're working on Prevention Plus Wellness, which is another good program.
I also have an MOU with them for active parenting and Y-Tri, 2 other programs. And I'm still working on trying to get Drummond Schools to work with me a little bit. So this might help with that too.
Where are you out of?
You,
I work for Butte Cares. It's the Southwest Montana Prevention. We do, is it 12 counties?
so Dawn, we have a local company, Zenith View LLC, who also we visited with that is requesting these funds. So it's the decision between you and Zenith View LLC. So we thank you for your presentation. And I think,
Thank you.
do we want to make a decision today, or do you want to think about it?
I'd make the motion today that we go with Zenith View being their local and they're right here. And that's my opinion.
So do you mind if I ask, does that company also do prevention work, or is it just counseling, or?
She talked about doing like the Prime for Life classes and
She did.
I think, but I'm not sure about.
She's a licensed addictions counselor, so they did anger management, DUI, MIP, and full assessments.
So the reason I think Scott is saying local is their funding is probably not as good as your funding would be, and yet they are local, and so he's mentioned.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because I know the funds are supposed to go towards prevention too, so.
It's nothing against you, I just try to support the
Right.
local. Just, they can comply and do everything they're supposed to, I think it'd be a good business deal to do it with a local.
I guess I consider Dawn local and that she's on the DUI task force and doing stuff locally.
Yeah,
But I wonder if they could share the funds.
Well, I think, if I may, I think Zenith View, their funding is not as I think they need the funding. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that you don't need the funding, but
I understand.
are well funded. And I'm gonna, Chuck, do you have anything to say? I'm gonna,
I guess I'll say.
you'll second it? Okay. So, is there any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Dawn, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks
And
for listening.
there's always next year. So.
Yeah, there is.
Thank you very much. We're gonna go ahead
Thank
and go in the View LLC with the funding that we received. Thank you, Dawn. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. There was somebody who was on it, Miles Benton, I believe. They were looking to make a public comment. Nobody noticed it. They're on Zoom.
Oh. Raise their hand.
Sorry, I didn't see any yellow hand come up.
Go ahead, Miles.
There it goes, Lydia.
Hi, it's Miles and Colleen Benton here from Butte Cares, and we just want to let you know, so we're Butte Cares and Southwest Montana Prevention. We are grant funded, but Dawn is actually she is local in Granite County. She is in Deer Lodge County. She is in the community. She's not out of Butte. We hire and have employees all over Southwest Montana that provide prevention services, and she is really involved in her community. So I guess I was just kind of confused. We were wondering how, because we're a nonprofit and Dawn works for the nonprofit, and Venus, I guess I was trying to hear who Venus, the counseling agency is a for-profit agency, so I was just wondering if we could relook at that decision, because we couldn't unmute for public comment. So that we could use some of those funds for prevention in the areas, because it's obviously needed. And then also the Prime for Life, there's lots of steps to that, so I wasn't sure if they were ready for that as well. I wasn't sure if they had presented truly what was involved in those steps for Prime for Life.
This is Blaine, hello. Yeah, Zenith came in and she said they can do Prime for Life. I agree with you that Dawn is local and that she's been helping the local community. I think what Commissioner Adler was meaning, I don't want to put words in his mouth, is since they're based here, I think is what he was meaning. But I agree with what you're saying though. I understand you.
I just, where they're based right here.
Yeah, I just think Dawn has done a lot for the community.
I mean, Dawn is based there too. It's just the fact, unfortunately, with housing costs and trying to get people directly in every living down the street from you really isn't realistic. So we get as close as we can, and Dawn makes all the efforts to be visible in both Deer Lodge and Granite counties on a regular basis. And then where Miles and I can help, we are more than willing to be present as well. So we're just, I guess if the commission could share with us how we can do better on that for future requests, because I understand Venus might have an office right directly in Granite County, but we also are local. We're working really hard. Dawn works really hard to build and maintain those relationships.
Well, to back myself on this, I'm not bashing Dawn. I'm not into that. I'm just saying, you know, here these people are, they got a business and they're here, and if they can afford to rent something and do it, then why wouldn't we give them the money and let them have a chance at it? I am not bashing Dawn.
One thing she's saying though too is that Zenith is going to charge for like services. They're offering some service potentially like MIP classes and other things that would be at no cost.
And they're still funded with this. They're not gonna quit doing this if they don't receive our funds. They will still do this.
They do get grant funds, yes.
They're just asking for our funds to help out a little more. And what we're saying is that.
Exactly. Yeah, with funds through the federal government, there's certain things that Dawn cannot do with her funding that really help out in the county, especially when she's doing events for kids and things like that. That's where we use alcohol funds in different counties to help support the activities they're already going and make them better for the kids. That's part of the way the government grant funding works. There's every year it changes a little bit, and certain things you can and cannot do. And Dawn does a lot of things, even with just crafting programs and things like that with the kids, where that funds don't necessarily come from grant funding because they don't support that. That comes from internal with Butte Cares. So she's looking for the funds just to help support and better the services that she already provides in the community there.
Okay, thank you, Miles. Go ahead, Blaine.
This is Blaine again. One thing I think we could do is the DUI task force has funds, and Dawn can make requests on that, and I would I'll round up the troops and we'll get her support on that. So I think that's an alternative avenue for funding for Dawn.
Hey, any other public comment?
I'm just curious, because we're also looking to fill your CTC position in Granite County. So we're just really curious how we can better help Granite County and make you feel that we're part of the community, like the Venus counseling. I guess that's kind of what how we can better support the community and you recognize the efforts, which I understand, Blaine, you're explaining like the DUI task force sees that, but from the commission standpoint, what do you need from us to see that better reflected in Granite County as a nonprofit trying to serve your county?
One thought that I have is potentially Dawn coming to like the public health meetings and giving updates. That might help the commissioners understand what she's doing.
Okay.
Or LIPC, yeah.
Any other public comment? Things none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried and passed. Thank you very much for your public comment. Zenith View will be receiving Granite County's funds for the July 1st through June 30th of 2025. Thank you.
Sign.
Okay.
Oh, you all sign that one.
This one?
Yep.
I think she should be given that slot on public health. Maybe she's in Zoom.
Hey, it is 10:30. And our next agenda item is with Drummond and Phillipsburg Volunteer Ambulance Association. Date and discussion.
For the record, Frank Prince, Drummond, President of the Ambulance Association. I was the one who brought this up.
I've seen you guys.
And I guess what I'm getting at is, I believe there was inappropriate use of our ambulance by Phillipsburg Ambulance. Being that we are two different entities. So I guess I don't see the justification about them using our equipment, being that we're in two different districts, also tax districts.
But first of all, I think this should be a closed session. I think it's private personnel matters. So unless Robert Littlejohn wants it open, that's fine.
I would appreciate it closed.
Okay, so this is just between Drummond and Peabody Ambulance and members of Drummond or Peabody Ambulance.
Yeah, it's a internal, issue between the two ambulance
Issue
associations.
between-
And
Case the name comes out.
Yeah, that's the right to privacy exceeds the public's right to know, I believe.
Okay, so we will be closing this and we'll ask you to vacate. Are you? Appreciate it. Okay, the next thing on, oops, gotta go back on.
Yep, you're back on. Perk's on, Jeremiah's on. You're gonna have to pin your 2 agenda items. in one
Okay,
go.
so the Drummond and Phillipsburg Volunteer Ambulance Association update, the discussion was closed and has been resolved. So we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the DEP HHS task order for immunization. It is basically what fiscal year.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to accept the DPHHS task order.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 10:55, letter of transmittal to e-file the updated emergency plan to FERC. Discussion and decision.
Yeah, but this is just your LOT to submit that emergency action plan to FERC. And then, yep, but they're ready for your quarterly call after that.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the,
You need a motion?
Yep. Yep, and a signature on that.
I'll make a motion to e-file the updated emergency action plan.
your second. Okay, any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, So now we're going to our quarterly FERC call with Kareem.
I'm gonna step out unless you want me here for this.
Go ahead, Kareem. Morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks again for doing these quarterly calls with the Portland Regional Office of the FBRC. I do appreciate you taking the time to just kind of go over some items on a quarterly basis, anything that's come up from the project recently, or any submittals or issuances that we have from our office here in Portland. So this is a great opportunity for us to just have an open conversation about submittals and issuances, and kind of give an update on some things, and also give you an update on a couple little things that have come through our office, just to kind of let you know some initiatives and some reminders that have come out from Regional Engineer. So this is the opportunity to do that. So with that, I'm happy to jump into it unless anybody has any initial questions before we start.
Questions? I don't see anybody wanting to ask you a question.
Not yet. All right, great. Well, we'll jump into it. So I had a couple items on my agenda that I wanted to go over fairly quickly. I'm not going to get into too much super detail on this particular commission call. If there's something that we need to discuss in more detail, we can always set up a separate discussion for that. So these will be a kind of a high level discussion. But if there are some more detailed conversations that we need to have later on, we're open to do that. So just as an FYI. The first thing on my list for new business is the dam safety surveillance and monitoring report. Just to let you know that we have received the county's submittal for the dam on that. I think that came in April 10th. It's under review. I have taken a quick look at it, thumb through, specifically looking at the instrumentation data for the project. Just kind of, that's my initial check to see, make sure everything's been recorded throughout the year. And it looks like everything has been to this point. Again, I'm still under current review. But something I wanted to bring to light, or just as kind of a reminder, in the annual letter of reminders, so this goes out every year from the regional engineer here in Portland District or Portland Region. So Doug, an email should have come out from Doug that has that letter in it. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. I can easily send it to Jackie, Billy Ann, and you guys can forward it throughout the commission if you don't already have it. And I think I attached it to the notification. It is attached to notification for the annual inspection. So we're going to get down to that in a couple other bullets. But just one of the items in that annual reminder letter, reminder responsibilities, is to submit with your surveillance and monitoring report data. Submit the data in an electronic format. That means as a Excel file or however you have it in your database. That's something we're going to start pushing more licensees to do on a more consistent basis. So this is something, it's in that letter of reminder responsibilities. And so we just want to kind of remind everybody, we're reminding all of our licensees to please submit that. It lets us kind of check your data submittals a little easier. I'm going to leave it at that. So just a kind of reminder about that. So we didn't get one this year. Don't worry about submitting it this year. If I need it, I will send something back in writing to the commissioners asking for that, or to Jeremiah asking for that information in digital format. But right now, just as kind of as a heads up, as a reminder, we do ask for that on an annual basis. So just make sure going forward in next year's submittal that you definitely have that included with your SMR submittal. Any questions about that before we move on? Okay. The other thing on my list is the owner's dam safety plan. So an update was received again in April of this year. So thank you for submitting that. One of the things we do require, again, as part of the annual, as part of your ODSP, is an annual review. And so it states in the 18 CFR 12.64, we ask that all licensees that have an owner's dam safety plan submit an annual review letter essentially what that letter states is that you reviewed it, and you know there's been no change or have been changes, and it's just confirming that it's still up to date. So that is in the that's in the Code of Federal Regulations. Again, that's 18 CFR 12.64. The regional engineer, I believe Doug sent an email out not too long ago about that to all the licensees in the region as a reminder that that needs to be submitted, needs to be submitted on an annual basis. So it's just, again, another thing that we're reminding all of our licensees in the region to please make sure they do submit that on the annual basis. Again, it's in the Code of Federal Regulations as a requirement under the ODSP. So we do ask that that gets submitted. There's no need to submit one this year if you haven't submitted one this year, which I don't think it was included with the annual submittal, but that's fine. Starting next year, though, that is going to be something where we're going to be more vigilant about asking our licensees to submit. So just make sure you add it to your list of to-dos as annual submittals, annual reporting things that need to happen. So I know there's just a couple here and there. But that's definitely one we're going to be more vigilant about enforcing and asking licensees to submit, because there have been instances where some licensees haven't submitted something to the FERC in a number of years, and so we want to make sure that you are actively reviewing your owner's dam safety plan and that you are actively updating it as things change within your organization. Another thing about the ODSP that I kind of want to bring up as a reminder and as a heads up, all high hazard projects that are required to have an ODSP, so owner's dam safety plan, they're required to submit they're required to have an external independent audit of the ODSP every 5 years. So for Granite County, for the Flint Creek project, the next one on my calendar is due June of 2027. So it's a couple years away, but it is something that is going to it needs to happen. They do take, depending on the size of the project, they do take a little bit of effort to be completed. So kind of a reminder that it's coming up fairly soon in a couple of years, and that just to have the county commissioners be ready, start planning for that, because you're going to need to have the external auditor approved by the regional engineer before they can do the audit. So it's important. That's why I'm bringing it up now, because we don't want you to wait till the last minute and then all of a sudden the auditor you're proposing, we reject. So there is something in the guidelines about that. Again, that's in the Code of Federal Regulations also, 18 CFR 12.65, all under the ODSP. So again, please just be aware that an external audit has to happen, and yours is due June of 2027 is what I have on my calendar, and it's something we can talk about when I'm out there for the inspection later on this year.
This never ends, there's more and more and more. Holy cow. When's it gonna stop?
There are reporting requirements for these high hazard projects. And if there are any questions about what's required, I'm happy to try to do my best to answer those for you, or to get some guidance from the regional engineer if needed. But yeah, there are a couple things here and there.
Couple.
Any questions about that, the ODSP, before we move on to anything else? Before we move on.
So external audit, what are you auditing? Equipment, or what are you looking at me for? I'm just asking this question.
So yeah, I'm happy to answer that, Ms. McClory. It's as part of the external audit, what the auditors is to look at is the structure of your owner's dam safety plan, and is your organization meeting the requirements that are set out in the Code of Federal Regulations. So there's a whole list of things that are required to be part of the owner's dam safety plan. And an experienced auditor will be able to say, okay, your plan is right size for your project, meaning that the things that you need to be paying attention to and aware of as an organization are adequately documented and are in place for your project size. So it's
One page after page after page. When we're upstairs in the courtroom.
That was the PFMA.
Yes.
With
Doyle?
review.
Okay.
That was a little different.
That's what I said, it just never is.
Okay, all righty, thank
No
you.
wonder we don't have enough money.
I'm being positive here.
I know. That's fine. And again, if you have questions, we're happy to try to answer those for you or point you in the right direction to get more information. So I always encourage you guys all licensees who I work with to just reach out. I'll try to answer your questions as much as best I possibly can. Okay, we'll move on. So just one thing to note is that the deterministic seismic hazard assessment, that was accepted. So letter went out from the regional engineer April 18th, I believe that was. So that was an accepted study or accepted high seismic hazard assessment. With the acceptance of that, I would encourage you to take a look at your supporting technical information document. I believe it's section 8 or 9, the seismic section and geological section of your supporting technical information document, to make sure they're up to date. So with the acceptance of that seismic hazard assessment, it should update that one of those sections in your supporting technical information document. I don't remember the top of my head, unfortunately. I'm coming back from vacation, so I forgot what section exactly it is. But there is a section in there that does talk about seismic and geological hazards of the project. And so it's important to make sure that it's up to date and consistent with, it's up to date and it includes that information from the results of the seismic hazard assessment. I don't think we have a due date on when that gets submitted to us in terms of an update, but there's something that I'll talk about again when I'm out there during my dam safety inspection later on this year. So it's not something that you need to get done and submit to us right away, but just as a reminder, as you get these studies accepted, whether it be your flood study or your seismic hazard study or something else, your STI document is a living document and should be updated continuously once those studies are accepted. Any questions about that one? Nope. Okay, great. If there are questions though, again, let me know. Reach out to me. We can talk about it. The next one on my list is it's a reminder of the dam safety inspection. So we've got that on our calendars. That will be Monday, June 10th. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's not raining. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it's not raining and we get some nice weather for that one. But I'm planning to be out there on Monday, June 10th to do my dam safety inspection. It'll just be me this year. Again, yeah, I don't think nobody else is coming out with me this year. But we have that kind of set on our calendars. And I'm looking forward to it again. Be out there to see the project. As a reminder, and we'll talk a little bit about this some more as it gets a little closer, but access to the project, make sure we can get down to the spillway safely as much as possible. We can get down into the vault if we can to make sure that's vented out. But again, I'll send out a reminder a couple weeks before that and try to have a conversation with you guys before that also. Also make sure the dam tender, the person who is responsible for doing the instrumentation readings on a consistent, who is responsible for the instrumentation readings is on site and accessible that day, because I will ask them to do some of the readings. That's just for the piezometers, which are dry, but whoever does that, and to get down into the gate vault, yeah, get down in there too on the spillway.
Jackie
So,
would like to go.
No. I need Valium. So he heard you.
I just told him Jackie would like to go.
Yeah.
No, I do not want to go.
You don't have to. Take somebody else.
Never mind them.
Okay, I was kind of like, oh, you don't want to be there? Like, you don't, I'm gonna be there. Am I gonna be there? You should be there too. Well, whoever's there, again, it's more important that the dam tender is there more than anybody else. Just to kind of go through their typical day-to-day or week to whatever they do on a weekly basis or monthly, but whatever the schedule is, to make sure that I can observe what they do in terms of instrumentation reading taking and to talk to them a little bit about what they observe on a regular basis when they're out there. So that's coming up in June. As part of my notification email, I did attach an owner's inspection form, so OIF. It is optional to fill that out, but we strongly encourage you to fill it out. I will probably call you or set up a conversation a couple weeks before that inspection to go over that form, because on there is where we can kind of document ahead of time anything that's happened since the last inspection. So any issues or observations or changes of the project that may have happened since the last observation. That form kind of helps kind of bring it all together. So that way it makes my inspection go a little bit smoother and a little bit faster. So hopefully we can get that filled out. It doesn't need to be submitted to eLibrary. So that's not necessary. You can just email it back to me. That's perfectly fine. Or we can go over on the phone. Either way, it is optional. We want to make sure we stress it is optional. So there are no more mandated things. It's an optional thing, but it does help us. It helps me when I go get ready for the inspection and get out there for the inspection. So if you can do that ahead of time, I'd greatly appreciate it. And make things go a little faster on June 10th. And that's all I had on my list at the moment anyway. I think that's all I had on my list. I should double check, but so if there's anything and this is an opportunity for you to ask me questions also. So this is kind of why I wanted to have these quarterly calls. I know we don't talk, there's kind of a lot goes on in a 3-month period for us projects. And so this is an opportunity. If you have any questions for the region that I can either try to answer or pass on to the regional engineer, I'll be happy to do that, try and do that today. If not, I mean, that's all I had at the moment.
I guess we'll ask now if is there any public comment? Jeremiah, did you have anything to add to that or say to Kareem?
No, not on that. I know Kareem was on the line when you guys made that decision, but they've made the updates to the emergency action plan addressing some comments that have been lingering out there and just to update contact information and such. So that will be e-filed here this week. So you'll have that. And I guess you confirmed you've received the DSSMR. So we'll see if you have, I guess, comments back on that. Otherwise, we do plan to do the owner's dam safety inspection form. I mean, we've completed a bit in years past, so we'll get that ready prior to the on-site inspection on the 10th.
Great. Okay.
And then we do, I guess, back to the STID, we do plan to update that because there was some other outstanding items related to the Part 12D that needed to be updated. So we are kind of holding on that update until this, till the hazard or I'm drawing a blank now, the BGA analysis was completed and accepted. So we'll get that updated as well.
Okay. And right now there's no schedule. We don't have a schedule for when there's no definitive schedule for when that needs to get submitted to us in terms of when you update the support and technical integration document. So you have a little flexibility there. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's no you must have it by August 1st to us or something like that. There's nothing like that currently on that I'm aware of in terms of the schedule. But if I see something as I'm reviewing documents, preparing for the inspection, and I see something where you say you're going to update your STI document by a certain time frame, I'll let you know. But right now, there's no definitive due date on that one. But it is something where we do encourage, since it's been accepted, the sooner you get it, the sooner you get it updated in your records, better. I guess the other, the sooner you get updated in your records, the better. But the other item I guess just popped into my head. So this past week, I was out at a conference, dam safety conference in Seattle. And one of the conference sessions I sat through, they talked a little bit about the Part 12 process, the new process, the PIs, the periodic inspection, and the comprehensive assessments, so the PICAs. And it's a new process. I don't have the date for yours in front of me at the moment, but I believe you guys are coming up for a CA, if I'm not mistaken, comprehensive assessment. And so as you get, my suggestion for that is, it's a couple years off, but the sooner you can plan for that, the better. So meaning like whatever you can do in terms of getting your digital project archive pulled together sooner rather than later. It's strongly encouraged. So digital project archive discussed in chapter 16 of the FERC guidelines. I'm not going to go into it today. We can talk about it when I'm on site, do my inspection. I'm happy to kind of go through that and talk about it a little bit more. But the DPA, or digital project archive, is basically all your dam records are kept together in a digital record. So if you haven't started doing that yet, it's strongly encouraged, because when it gets down to those comprehensive assessments of CAs, it's going to depend heavily on your archive or digital project archive. And if you haven't started it yet, it's encouraged to do it sooner rather than later.
Okay. Yeah, can we Kareem, can we try and plan for maybe a little bit of time? Because I know that comprehensive assessments due what was your email? The January 1st of 27. So I mean, we need to get somebody working on that early 26 to get through everything. So it would be nice to just spend a little bit of time going through what else is required of that. I know we've assisted Granite County in digitizing all the old hard copies of the dam records. So we should have a pretty good start on the digital archives of those files. But yeah, it would just be good to kind of start planning for that, even though it's a couple of years out.
Yeah. So, and as we were talking there, Jeremiah, I looked it up, and it is January of 2027 is when the report is due, and there is a 18-month lead time for that one. So you're going to need to have somebody proposed to do the inspection and do the comprehensive assessment by 2020, late 2025, or late 2025, I think, maybe something like that. So it's going to be it is a process. And yes, we can talk about what's needed for that a little bit more. But it's in the guidelines. I'm required to say that it's in the guidelines, but I'm happy to discuss it with you on a separate call.
It seems like we're getting thrown in with all these other big dams, and we have to compete with them and do all this stuff. Where the hell are we gonna get all this money to keep this going? No answer?
It's not his problem.
I have no answer. God.
I have no answer. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you an answer. But that's a question. That's a valid question, and I'm not going to shy away from it and say that it's not a question that other licensees have had also. It's a challenge to compete with a lot of these bigger licensees, and it's.
The government is a challenge. They just keep wanting more and more and more. We're a small outfit. We only have a certain amount of people, but we just keep getting more and more that we have to do. And I don't know how the hell we're gonna do it. It's frustrating.
Hey Scott, this is Jeremiah. I think Kareem has sent just looking ahead, an email to Billy Ann and I. On some of the upcoming future things. So I think we gotta look towards the state and the DNRC and some of their grant funding programs to assist here. You know, the reclamation development grant, you guys, it used to be just $15,000 and you use that for the spillway assessment that we did, that seepage. And I think they've upped that to 40,000 now. And so I think, you know, towards the end of this year, going into 25, we need to look at applying for some of those grants, to help assist with some of these, you know, like the ODSP, 5-year independent audit is due in the middle of 27, and the same with, that comprehensive assessment as well. So I think we got to definitely consider some of those grant funding opportunities.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Hey, Kareem, that it?
That's it. No more surprises.
Not today.
Not today. Not today. But again, if there are questions that I can answer, I'm happy to try to answer. Definitely reach out to me, let me know. The reason, again, to bring those things up, because although they are a little further out, is to help you plan for it. Because like Scott was saying, it's a process. So we want to make sure we give you a little bit of a heads up, let you know ahead of time schedule that we're looking at. And if there's any difficulties or questions, yeah, you're encouraged to reach out to talk to the regional engineer. Doug is more than welcome to answer any questions that you have, within limits that he can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And I look
Bye.
forward to seeing you guys in about a month. So, month or
Sounds
so,
good.
and we'll see you out.
Take
We'll see you
care.
then. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, that ends our session today, and I think we can adjourn. We adjourn.